Hey, this is Mr. Molo with a brief walkthrough for your Chapter 4 test. So hopefully some of the tips here I'm going to say help you do well on this test. So you'll have two chances at this test. So remember, since it's on Schoology, the questions don't change, unlike Big Ideas where they would change. So probably a good idea to write down your answers here. Remember, when you hit submit, you can't see what answers you put in, but you can see if the answers are right or wrong. So especially on a question like this, you know if you got a 0 out of 2, that you should change both your answers because they were both wrong. If you got a 2 out of 2, then you should keep your answers the same. But again, it's not going to tell you the answers, so having them written down probably is helpful. It kind of stinks if you get a 1 out of 2 because you don't know if the first box was right or the second box was right, but then that's a good chance for you to go back and look at your work and see if you can spot where your mistake was. So number 1 here, it even says on here, hint, there's no math required. So if you're doing some adding, subtracting, multiplying, or dividing for this problem, you're doing too much work. So we are writing the equation in slope-intercept form, and I'll give you the slope, and I will give you the y-intercept. So that's some stuff from section 1. Here, a little different. So I'm giving you the slope, and I'm telling you the x and the y of where the point passes through. So you have to do a little bit of work to figure out your y-intercept, but I gave you the slope there as -3/2. And also don't forget about your signs. So make sure you're putting a positive or putting a negative if it's negative. If it's positive, you don't have to put anything before that. But if it is a negative answer, make sure you put a negative sign in there. 3, so kind of the harder of the first 3 questions. I just tell you 2 x's and 2 y's. So kind of like section 4.3 here. So you need to find the slope first, and then you need to do some work to find the y-intercept. So same thing, if it's negative, make sure you're putting in the negative signs there. Here, almost kind of the same thing as number 3. I'm telling you that I want you to find a line that's parallel to y equals 3x plus 5, and it goes through those points. So again, I'm kind of giving you the slope here because I'm telling you it's parallel to this line. And then again, I'm giving you an x and a y. You need to figure out the y-intercept. And then the same thing here. Again, I'm kind of giving you the slope. I'm telling you this one's perpendicular to y equals 1/2 x minus 8. And again, I'm giving you an x and a y. So you need to figure out the new slope and then the y-intercept. Question 6, same thing, kind of like question 1. There is no math on this problem. You are just putting it into point slope form. So as long as you remember where the slope and the x and the y go, you should be good. Kind of the same thing here. So putting it in point slope form, kind of a little different though. I'm making you think about what the slope is. I'm just telling you that it's parallel to this line. But again, I'm giving you an x and a y and telling you it's parallel to that line. And then same thing on number 8. No math again required, but you do have to do some thinking because I'm telling you that the slope is perpendicular to y equals -2x minus 7, and then I give you the x and the y. So again, no adding, subtracting, multiplying, dividing on any of those problems there, but you do have to do a little bit of thinking about what goes where and what those words mean, okay? Here, you're determining if the sequence is arithmetic. If so, find the common difference. If it is arithmetic, make sure you're typing YES, yes, not like yeah or yep or sure, okay? Otherwise, then Schoology is going to end up marking it wrong. So make sure you're typing in yes. And then if it is arithmetic, make sure you're finding the common difference. If it's adding, make sure you put like a +3 in there. If it's subtracting, make sure you put like a -3 in there. And then if it's not arithmetic, type in no in both boxes. Don't leave them blank because again, then Schoology is going to mark it wrong. So make sure you're putting in either yes if it is arithmetic, no if it's not, finding the difference if it is, and then putting in a no in both boxes if it's not. So that's the same for 9 and 10. 11, we're talking about correlation. So we're going to describe the correlation here. Your options are either positive or negative. Okay, and then using graphing calculator, finding the slope and the y-intercept. So remember, this is the stuff we did a little bit of in section 4.4 and then a little bit more in section 4.5. So if you need some help with that, I would go and rewatch those videos from 4.4 and 4.5. And I'd also like you to round it to the nearest hundredth. So that means 2 spots after the decimal. Again, Schoology is only going to accept one answer here. So if you round it a different way, it's not going to be counted as correct. And then using the formula that you find in B, predict the grade for a student who studied 6 hours. Okay, and then going backwards to some stuff in section 4.2 and 4.3, determining if these two are parallel, perpendicular, or neither. So remember, you need to make them say y equals first, so we know what the slope looks like. And then again, it's just a drop down, especially for questions like this. Very important that you write down your answer because you only got 3 options. It's either parallel, perpendicular, or neither. So if you pick parallel the first time and it's wrong, don't pick parallel again. You know it's either perpendicular or neither. Look at your work, see what you did wrong. And then also the same thing on 13. Parallel, perpendicular, and neither. Make sure you get that to say y equals. And then kind of the same thing here. So the last 2 questions are about correlation. The correlation can either be positive, negative, or no correlation. Again, a 1 in 3 chance there. And there's only one question, or there's only one possible answer there. So if you know you get a 0 out of 1 when you hit submit, you knew that it wasn't the one that you selected. So then on your second attempt, you can go back in there and select something else, either positive, negative, or no. All right, let me know if you have any questions. Good luck.